President of the Republic of South Africa.
Jacob Zuma, Mongamelo Senin Africa, Tumanele Fumesisoni, Yatiava Segisagantiava Luta, Kai Segisakwarangamalala, Sinyana Wakina Masibagam Cholosi, he could let the way a careful self pole, Bakuta Babata when Micholo, Kantava Butalangani, you want Tintabatanga tax, you want to Kutalana Pexis to the Pili. Napoleon Hola Sifa Sangasona, Omamata Kongala Sigopana, you are Boma Peter Babal Popolo, you Popolo Tolam Cholos, you could tag it left back by selling Zimapika, you could let the Saki Bob Evapuru, Jam Luto Kata Katele, you are the one over Robin Island, Otikale Pua is Sotin William Soti, now Mashana was I eat every excellence. I know it's a common. Jump up the Masang. What's your Kulagam contest? Natala Halala Matane. This is a show of ANC.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, can we have some order? Honorable members, there will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Please be seated.
Honorable Speaker
Madam Speaker,
House Chair, Speaker and Chairperson, may I please draw your attention? I'm raising in terms of the Constitution to seek your protection and the protection of the Constitution. So both Section 58 and 71 of the Constitution say that as members of Parliament and delegates of the National Council of Provinces, we have got privileges, and that we are not subject, we cannot be arrested, and we cannot be charged criminally. But we have got it on good authority that 21 members of the SAPS have joined the Parliamentary Protection Services today with the intention of arresting members of the EFF. They even have these cable ties, which they want to use to tie down members of the EFF here in Parliament. But besides that, they've got injections as well. They want to inject members of Parliament of the EFF with biological contents that are going to deactivate them for the rest of the day. So we're standing up, Chair and House Chair and the Speaker, to seek protection that in the proceedings of this House today, we're not going to be subjected to harassment that will be in contravention of both Section 58 and 71 of the Constitution of South Africa. We want to raise issues with you. We have told you in advance that there are issues we want to raise with you. But can you please be guaranteed protection for today, that we're going to respect the Constitution and make sure that everything else happens as per the Constitution. Up to you, Speaker and Chairperson.
I'd like to recognize the honorable member raising a point of order.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this is a joint, according to the joint sitting of this House, joint House of this House on Chapter 2. This is a joint sitting that has been called by the President. The President to deliver the annual or special address to Parliament. Another thing, Speaker, that honorable member was not recognized. Thank you.
Yes, honorable member. Honorable Steenhuisen.
Madam Speaker, may I address you in terms of Rule 14UB of the joint rules of the National Assembly, of the joint rules of this Parliament? Madam Speaker, let's get back to the people's business in this House. Madam Speaker, I would like, as this is the first sitting of this House since the tragedy of Edemene, of the Edemene 94, who we recognize today as the greatest human tragedy in this country since Marikana, that I believe it would be appropriate for this House to mark this occasion and this tragedy and show some respect for those families and those members who lost their lives in this massive tragedy.
On a point of order, Speaker.
By allowing this House to make
On a point of order, Speaker.
take a moment of silence.
Point of order, Speaker. Point of order. Speaker, on a point of order.
Yes, Honorable Bongo. What's the point of... But Honorable Bongo, let me finish listening to this point of order, then I'll take you.
Okay.
Go on, Honorable Steenhuisen.
The request is that we believe it would be appropriate for this House to recognize this tragedy and suffering, to mark it with a moment of silence, and to reflect that, on the fact that it must never happen in South Africa again. I believe it would be appropriate, and I'm requesting you, Madam Speaker, to allow us this opportunity to do so.
Honorable Bongo, what is the point of order you want to raise?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a joint sitting convened by the President in terms of rule number 42(1)(5) of the Constitution, read with the joint rules, Chapter 2, 17A, which simply means that the President may convene such a sitting in terms of the rules and the Constitution to address the sitting on a special business, which is the State of the Nation address. So in terms of this sitting convened by the President, there's no provision whatsoever that we may have to take any other item except the item that the President has called us here for in terms of the Constitution.
Honorable members, I have taken your points of order, although it is quite unusual on this occasion for us to raise points the way we have, because we all know that according to this House's rules and the Constitution, the occasion of a joint sitting for purposes of receiving the President's State of the Nation address is a very specific and special one. On the issue raised by Honorable Steenhuisen, I want to say, Honorable Steenhuisen, I agree with you, but would like to suggest that we hold on that point until we start the debate next week. Honorable members, the President has called this joint sitting.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, Honorable
Madam
Waters,
Speaker,
let me listen to Honorable Shibambu. He
Honorable Speaker,
actually rose before
I rose
you.
in terms of the Constitution to seek protection and assurance from you that the events of this House are going to be protected by this book, by this Constitution. I've brought to your attention the fact that as part of the protection services here in Parliament, we've got members of the SAPS. We've got a fresh judgment from the Constitutional Court that state securities, particularly the SAPS, must not be involved in keeping so-called security here in Parliament or security in Parliament. We have dealt with that separately, but there are members of the SAPS who have been assessing everything else that we do here. And we know as part of their plan, they're going to come with these cable ties. That is a valid point which you must entertain. Assure us as members of Parliament that when we proceed today, we're not going to have SAPS invading the House, violating the Constitution, undermining the Constitutional Court. We have done that on many occasions, but please make an assurance today that they're not going to allow for the violation of the Constitution and the Constitutional Court ruling on this particular issue particularly. Can you assure us about that? What is difficult about that?
Honorable Shibambu, this House cannot work on the basis of hearsay, because you are now telling us something we are not aware of. So all we can say to you as presiding officers is that we will do everything according to the rules to make sure that everything we do in this House is based on the law and not based on suppositions or rumors. Honorable Waters.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this House is the People's Parliament, and we should reflect the wishes of the people. Now, 94 people were massacred in Gauteng by the Health Department. Right? Disabled people were massacred. All the Honourable Steenhuisen is asking for is a moment's silence to reflect on that and to respect those 94 people that were massacred and their families. And I'm sure if you ask the President, he would not mind if we had a moment's silence before his speech. I think it is 94 people being massacred is worthy of a moment's silence here in Parliament. And I urge you, Madam Speaker, to reconsider what your ruling and that we have a moment's silence now and not next week. Thank you.
Honorable Waters, as I said earlier on, we agree with the spirit of what Honorable Steenhuisen and yourself have raised. And I suspect even the President himself might deal with that issue. However, allow us to proceed with this joint sitting according to plan, and indeed we will entertain the matter when we start the debate on the State of the Nation address of the President.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Steenhuisen,
Madam Speaker,
I
I would just like to say to you that this is the opening of the State of the Nation. This is the appropriate time to mark the tragic loss of life. You can't put a marking of tragic loss of life on hold for a week. It looks completely cheap and makes a mockery of the loss of life here. I'm sure the President won't mind if we take 30 seconds to a minute and express this House's solidarity and condolence with those who lost their lives in this tragedy that was in fact a government error. And I think it would be appropriate of this House to mark that occasion. Don't put it on hold, please. It's a
Honorable
heartfelt pain.
Steenhuisen, we appreciate your views and we would like to be allowed to proceed with conducting the business. And I mean, I'm quite sure there are many times when honorable members have different views from the presiding officers, but the issue is we would now like to proceed with the business as planned. I see Honorable Malema has raised his hand.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We are raising a simple matter that this cable tie, we took it from a security guy outside. And all of us should enjoy your protection. So a caring speaker who's concerned about all members of Parliament and their safety would have immediately sanctioned that some brief investigation be made on the cable tie. And the second thing is that there are 21 police male subs in white shirts. They came in here through police vehicles. The Constitutional Court has made clear pronouncements with regard to that. And if such an allegation is made, it will be correct for the Speaker to say, we sanction our table to ensure that indeed there is compliance with the law, as you say. It's not just an allegation. Our security and our safety is important, and it should be the concern of a caring Speaker who's not partisan. So it shouldn't be a rumor because it came from an opposition. It is a serious issue raised by a member of parliament. And we need you as our head to assure us that no cable ties will be used against members of parliament, including injections. They are having injections. If there is a possibility of pushing people out here, people are going to be injected with biological weapons here, which are brought by these security people here. So please reassure us that we are indeed safe in this parliament. We'll raise our concerns and our issues without any fear or favor from the security apparatus. Thank you.
Honorable Malema, I have already ruled on that matter. I have already ruled on that matter, and I now intend to proceed.
Speaker, may I address you, please?
Honorable
Last time.
Waters.
Speakers, given your ruling that you will only consider the moment of silence next week, would you mind giving the DA 30 seconds to stand in moment of silence for the 94 people? Thank you very much.
Honorable members of the DA, I have not given you your chance to observe a minute of silence, which you will observe along with all other honorable members. And therefore, your standing is your business. It is not according to the ruling of the chair. Honorable members, the President has called this joint sitting of the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces in terms of Section 84(2)(d) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, read with Joint Rules 7(1)(a) in order to deliver his State of the Nation address to Parliament. I now call on the Honorable, the President, to address the joint sitting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Speaker of the National Assembly,
of the NCOP.
the
I
Chairperson
rise in terms
of the National Council of
the Joint
Provinces,
Rules 14LA,
Deputy Speaker
14S1,
of the National Assembly,
14UB,
and the Deputy
read together with the
Chairperson
Constitution.
Honorable President,
of the NCOP.
Honorable President, please take your seat. Honorable Gadi.
Sit down, President.
No.
Zuma.
Honorable Gadi,
Thank
you are on a point of order. What is your point of order?
Read together, Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson of the NCOP.
Madam Speaker. Madam
I rise
Speaker,
in terms of the
on a
Joint
point of
Rules
order, please.
14LA,
On a point of order, please.
14S1,
No.
and
Honorable Gadi,
14UB.
just hold your horses. Honorable member, I have recognized Honorable Gadi. He is still on a point of order. You therefore cannot interrupt a member on the floor who has been recognized. Honorable Gadi, please continue.
Thank you very much. Let me start afresh so that he can hear me well. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson of the NCOP,
I rise in terms of the rules of the joint sitting, Rule 14 LA, Rule 14 S1, and Rule 14 UB, read together with the Constitution, Section 2, Section 87, Section 49(2), and 51, Paragraph A and B. Read together with the judgment of the Constitutional Court on the 31st of March 2016, which held that the failure by the National Assembly to hold the President accountable by ensuring that he complies with the remedial action taken against him
Honorable
is
Bongo, take your seat.
inconsistent
This member is on the floor.
with its
Take your seat.
obligations.
Honorable Bongo, take your seat. We recognize this member. We will rule on the matter. Please proceed, Honorable Gadi.
It did not go to do his population.
Don't
the
concentrate
articles.
on him. You are on a point of order.
The failure by the National Assembly to hold the President accountable by ensuring that he complies with the remedial action taken against him is inconsistent with its obligation to scrutinize and oversee the executive action and to maintain oversight of the exercise of executive powers by the President, and in particular, to give urgent attention to or intervene by facilitating his compliance with the remedial action. The Constitutional Court therefore issued an order that the resolution absolving the President from compliance with the remedial action taken by the Public Protector is invalid and set aside. The Constitutional Court therefore went further to say the President has failed to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution
Honorable
as the supreme
Gadi.
law of the land.
Honorable Gadi.
And accordingly,
Honorable Gadi.
both the President
Honorable
and the
Gadi.
presiding officers are in contempt of the Constitutional Court provision.
What is the point of order?
The point of order is that the President is in breach of his oath of office, failed to uphold, defend, and promote the Constitution.
Honorable Gadi.
And accordingly, he cannot
Honorable
address
Gadi.
honorable members, including the
Honorable
presiding
Gadi.
officers, who they themselves have failed to hold the President accountable.
Honorable
Accordingly,
Gadi.
the Parliament is in contempt of the Constitutional Court, just as
Honorable Gadi,
Mr.
you
Zuma
are
is.
now addressing the House. You are not making a point of order.
Thank you. You have heard, Madam Chairperson of the NCOP. I will await your ruling. Thank you.
Chair.
Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority.
Honorable Chair, Section 89 of the Constitution of the Republic says this Parliament can remove the President from office by a substantive motion that can be brought before this Parliament. Indeed, Honorable Chair, substantive motions have been brought before this Parliament for the removal of the President, not only on the basis of Section 89, but also on the basis of the Section 102 of our Constitution, vote of no confidence on the President. This Parliament has decided not to remove the President on the basis of what the honorable member is raising today. We can't go back to that motion that has not been properly put before this House. It was put before this House. The motion was defeated in this House. I therefore request, Honorable Chair, that you rule that we continue with the business of this House and reject this frivolous intervention by this honorable member. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chair of the NCOP.
Honorable Malema, I have yet to rule on this motion.
Yeah, but you gave him an opportunity to speak before you even ruled on Godrich. Because the procedure is such that you must rule on Godrich before you give him. You broke your own rules, so allow me to proceed.
Proceed.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chairperson of the NCOP. sitting in front of us here, it's a man who
Are you
is
on a point of
incorrigible.
order?
An incorrigible man, rotten to the core. And that has been found by the Constitutional Court. And this story that
Honorable
you voted,
Malema.
the story
Honorable
that you
Malema.
voted majority to keep him, it doesn't make him
Honorable
a
Malema,
legitimate
that is not
president.
a point of order.
But listen to me. Listen
That
to me.
is not a point of order.
But listen to me, chairperson of the eNCA.
Yes, but that is not a point of order. You
What was-
stood
what
on a
was-
point of order.
What was Jackson's point? What was Jackson's point? What was Jackson's point?
Can I rule?
No, but let me speak. What was Jackson's point? We're all equal here. We're all equal here. Jackson did not rise on any
Chairperson,
point in the rules.
point of order.
I'm following in what he did.
Point of order.
So I'm saying the fact that majority
Point
voted
of order, Chairperson.
against the Constitutional Court decision, it doesn't make the majority right. You voted against
Point of
the
order.
Nkandla report, which was declared by the Constitutional Court that you were in breach
Point of
of the
order.
Constitution by voting against the Nkandla report. You are repeating the same mistake. Mr. Zuma has collapsed his own right to address us here.
Can you allow
Mr.
us to rule
President,
on the matter?
441 soldiers
Point of
will
order,
never
Chair.
protect you.
Point of order.
Your
Point of
problem is
order,
not outside.
Point of order.
Your problem is here.
Point of order.
There is no
Point of
soldier
order.
here.
Point
Here
of
we're
order.
elected.
Honorable Malema.
You want soldiers to defend
Honorable
you.
Malema.
Let soldiers form a political party and come
Honorable
in.
Malema, please
Inside
take
here
your
they will
seat.
never come in. So we are not
Honorable
going to
Malema.
allow the president to address us.
Honorable Malema,
Point
please
of
take your
order.
seat. Honorable members, allow us to rule on this matter. Honorable Gadi rose on a point of order. I actually ruled and said what he was doing was addressing the House and that it was not a point of order. I then allowed the chief whip of the majority party to speak. I want to say, in the first place, the matter the honorable members are dealing with, the members of the National Assembly, has nothing to do with the business of today. It has nothing to do with the joint sitting. It would have nothing to do with the joint sitting because the NCOP is not empowered to elect or to impeach.
On a point
So-
of order.
I am on the floor.
You must recognize.
I am addressing this House. You will take your seat. And therefore, this point that the joint sitting must now address the business which belongs solely to the National Assembly cannot be viewed as a serious point of order by this joint sitting. And therefore, I wish to dismiss all these points of orders.
Chair of the NSOP, can you recognize me?
You are recognized.
Madam Chair, let me just remind you, when Honorable Gadi stood up, he cited for section 14 of the joint rules. He didn't go with the rules book of the National Assembly. So we have a rule book that is called a joint rules book 14C, and he quoted so many sections in that rule book, and he combined it with a section in the Constitution. So we would like to stress that, Madam Chair, since this Parliament have not taken the advice of the Constitutional Court, that rules that the President have violated his oath of office. So therefore the President cannot address this House until,
Honorable Sope.
you,
That
presiding
is not a
officer,
point of order.
you
Honorable
pronounce
Sope.
on the procedures to discipline
Order,
the
Chair.
President.
Honorable Sope, that's
Order,
not a
Chair.
point of order. I have ruled on this matter. Please allow us to continue with the business of the day. I want to urge honorable members not to stand up and repeat what is really not a point of order. If members of the National Assembly wish to carry on with this matter, please do it when it is your own sitting at your own time.
On a point of order, Chair.
You are
Honourable
on a point
Speaker.
of order, Honorable Mkwili.
Ke a leboga modulasetilo. Ke ema yana ke go gakolola gore ka di 25 tsa October 2016 you allowed Mr. Zuma to address the National Council of Provinces, and we made it a point to you, Honorable Chair, to say
Is that a
this
point of
man
order, Honorable
is a point
Mukwege?
of order.
That is not a point of order.
What you replied on, you said this is not the business of the NCOP.
Yes.
Let me remind you that Parliament is made up of two houses, meaning the NA and the National Council of
Honorable
Provinces.
Mukwege, please take your
the
seat. That's not a
president-
point of order.
It's a point of order. Listen to what I'm saying.
That
You
is not
even
a point
allowed
of
him
order.
to speak.
Please take
So we
your
are not
seat.
going to allow this man to address us. He's
Honorable
not honorable.
Mukwege,
I've
take your
taken
seat.
my oath.
That is not a point of order. Honorable members, the business of the National Assembly and the business of the NCOP and the mandates as per the Constitution that you are so...
Chairperson of the NCOP.
I am speaking. Please take your seat. Honorable members, we will not allow the business of this House to degenerate or not to start simply because you are raising issues which purportedly are points of orders which are not points of orders in this sitting. I would want to ask the President to continue.
Chairperson of the NCOP.
Honorable Speaker, I have respectfully been trying to get your attention. And we're standing up in a point of order. My leader has been standing up right from the beginning, even before you recognized Honorable Gadi. And therefore, I'm asking you, in terms of Rule 14S, you have to recognize my leader on his point of order.
I did not see him. Honorable members, Kahleni Bo. Honorable members, I did not see Honorable Lekota. No, I did not see his hand. I have no reason why I would not recognize him. Honorable President, please take your seat. Honorable Lekota, a point of order.
I rise on a point of order, Madam Speaker. I rise on a point of order.
You are covered, you are protected. Say, please proceed. You are on a point of order.
In terms of Section 48, it relates to Section 48 of the Constitution. In terms of that section of the Constitution, none of us can be a member of Parliament, of the National Assembly or of Parliament without taking an oath under Schedule 2. We of the Congress of the People want to place it on record. We pointed out in the last State of the Nation address that the gentleman before you has broken his oath of office. He admitted that. Subsequently, the court found that he has discharged himself from the oath of office. He can't be a member of Parliament when he has discharged himself.
Honorable
Section 48 requires that. Madam Speaker,
Honorable Lekota.
In English is called a scoundrel. In our mother tongue,
Honorable
it's called
Lekota, that is not a point of order.
Now, we cannot hold Lemenemene as a role
Honorable
model.
Lekota,
That the youth
that is
of our
not a
country
point of order.
Must follow.
Please
must
take your
emulate.
seat.
Therefore, we cannot become part of a
Honorable
process.
Lekota, that's not a
You
point
are
of
making-
order.
No, we have not broken our oath of office. Now you want
That's
to,
not a point of
to
order.
make us
Please take your
complicit
seat.
in the breaking of our office, oath of office. We have not broken
Please
ours. He
take your
broke
seat.
his. He broke his oath of office. We did not break our oath of office. So we can't.
Honorable Lekota,
Yes.
please take your seat. That's not a point of order. Honorable members, we have ruled on this matter. We have ruled on this matter, and I wish to reiterate that we must allow the President to continue with his speech. You have been putting matters, you have been addressing the House, not on points of orders. But we now wish to proceed with the business of the day. Honorable President, please proceed.
You are suppressing our freedom of speech.
Please.
Cyril Ramaphosa,
Speaker.
former President Thabo
On a
Mbeki,
point of order.
House Chairperson.
Chair.
Chief Justice
Chair.
Mogoeng,
Speaker.
House Chairperson on a point of
Chair.
order.
all esteemed members
Chair.
of the
House Chairperson on
judiciary,
a point of order.
Please recognize us.
members, ministers,
On a point of order.
On
and
a point
deputy
of
ministers,
order.
National Chair, please recognize us.
premiers,
Chairperson of the
and
NCOP.
speakers of
Can you please recognize us?
Provincial legislature.
Chairperson of the NCOP, you
Within the
cannot
rules.
allow a
Chairperson
situation
of
to
SALGA.
continue like this.
It's within
It's
the
out
rules.
of
The heads
order.
of
You have to
Chapter
listen to
9
us.
institutions,
You must give us an opportunity to speak here.
chairperson of the
Honorable
National
Member,
Council,
just because you are standing for
Traditional
president
leader,
ANC, now you are avoiding things
Speaker.
here.
President
Please,
of
point of order.
the
Hey.
judiciary,
On the point of order, Chair.
and all
Please.
Honorable
Point of order.
Revoke
You want to be president.
Honorable members, order.
You are disrupting the order.
This is not a cell. This is not a prison.
You are disrupting
We can't be arrested as criminals.
Honorable
We are not in a
President,
or a rehabilitation
Honorable
center.
President, please allow us to just focus on how to
Thank you.
calm
Sit
these
down,
honorable
Zuma,
members
please.
down.
Sit down.
Honorable members, we have been patient with you. We have been trying to give you an opportunity to express yourselves, but we believe that in actual fact, the freedom of expression of the members of this honorable house is definitely being abused by yourselves. Because all honorable members who are here in this house have come to listen to the State of the Nation address. South Africans are here
But how do you
in the
abuse the
gallery.
freedom
South
of speech
Africans
without
are
winning?
sitting at home, waiting eagerly to listen to the State of the Nation address. We would like to assure you, honorable members, that we will respect your freedom of speech,
Please do.
your freedom to raise points of orders, but we are not going to allow you to obstruct the business of the House and to continue to abuse all of us on the basis that you have a right to raise points of orders. So we would like to say to yourselves, Honorable Shibamu, that we're not going to sit here the whole night listening to you raising points of orders,
But the rules allow us
which we have ruled. We have ruled upon the issues you've been raising.
But you have not heard me. when I
We
said I'm
have
raising for the
ruled
first time.
and we are not intending to waste endless time because you have a right to raise a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, there is nowhere in this rule book where it's allowed that you will refuse a point of order that is raised by
Honorable
legitimately
Shibambo,
elected
you have
members of
not been
Parliament.
recognized. Please take your seat.
I'm raising to be recognized on a point of order. Or House
We have
Chairperson.
listened to numerous
It's
points of
allowed in
orders
terms
from
of
you.
Rule 14S and 14U of the joint rules. Please recognize me on a point of order.
Honorable Shibambo, please take your seat.
And you're going to recognize me after I sit down.
Honorable Shibambo, please take your seat.
But I'm pleading with you that when I sit down, you're going to recognize me because I'm doing a legal and legitimate and constitutional practice of raising a point of order in terms of these rules.
Honorable
Can you please
Shibambo,
allow me
take
to
your
do
seat.
that?
Sir, you raised your hand.
No, but Honorable Chairperson of the NCOP, our Chief Whip raised his hand before the leader of the DA. The least you can do is to give him an opportunity to speak and then make a ruling. What type of criteria is this? Give him chance to speak. Let us not have an attitude
Honorable
against
Malema,
members of Parliament.
nobody recognized you, nobody gave you the space.
But let's
Please
give
take
the
your
Chief
seat.
Whip of the EFF an opportunity to speak.
Honorable
He raised his hand.
Malema, take your seat. There is an honorable member who is on the floor. Please proceed.
Speaker and Chairperson, I rise on Rule 14B. First of all, and this is absolutely critical, we saw earlier on today army members even here in the precinct. Hold on. The fact of the matter is that the Constitution has been violated, which is something even P.W. Botha would have been proud of. The leader of the ANC who is here has violated the Constitution. What doesn't change is the fact that South Africans voted for him. We are not here tonight to debate that question. What we are here tonight to debate is the people of South Africa and the fact that many don't have work. Can I request and
Honorable
prevail
Maiman.
that we proceed on this matter so that we can talk about the people's business and the South Africans who are left behind while we have this discussion? Can I request that we debate that, please?
Thank you, sir.
On a point of order.
You rose on joint rule 14B. 14U. Honorable members, can we do the right thing and allow the president to proceed with his speech?
I don't want to interrupt the president. House
Honorable
Chair. I've been
members.
raising my hand here.
Honorable members,
I've been
we
doing the
have
honorable
had-
thing, Chair.
We have had points of orders which
I'm
we have
speaking
ruled
for the
on.
first time. I'm speaking for
Honorable
the first time.
members, you will not hold this sitting to ransom.
I'm not trying to do
We
that,
want to continue with the business
Can
of
you
the
just
day.
hear me out,
Please take your seat.
Honorable House Chairperson, I'm rising on a point of order. It has nothing to do with what has been said.
What is your point of order?
Thank you very much. First of all, those two people there at the door don't belong in the house. Those two people there must leave the house. Give that order. Everybody that is in here must have this card and must have been sworn in terms of his oath of office. Those guys must leave the house. They don't belong in the house. They're in the bridge of the... Even the justices are sitting on the other side. The justices are sitting on the other side. We've got two people there. I don't know them. I didn't vet them. This is my house. They must leave. Those two people there. That's number one. I don't know them. Do you know them? You look shocked, Evie. But you say this is your house. There are two guys standing there. Who are they? Do they have this? They must go. That's the first point of order, Honorable Chairperson of the NCOP. The second thing is a fundamental mistake here. We are all first and foremost citizens of South Africa, and we are not allowed, according to the Constitution, to stand for any office if we have a criminal record. The Constitutional Court, it doesn't matter whether it's NCOP, it doesn't matter whether it's legislature, even a council of councillors in a township are not allowed to hold public office if they are found to have been in breach of the Constitution. If you want to listen to a person that has breached the Constitution, go do it elsewhere. somewhere in the prisons there
Honorable
where
Ndlozi,
criminals
please
speak.
make your point
I have
of
a
order.
duty, together with other members of parliament who have taken an oath of office, to protect this house in terms of the constitution. Mr. Zuma, please leave. Baba, please leave. You don't belong here. You are a constitutional delinquent. You have to leave. Then we can proceed with the business of the house. I'm sure each and every one of us are competent to can deliberate on the state of the nation. But Mr. Zuma is a delinquent. He breached the constitution. He doesn't belong in it. It is him that should leave, not us. You are wrong not to protect us. You protecting him to stay here. As a constitutional, as a criminal.
You are not making a point of order.
It is a point of order.
It is no longer
How
a
do you
point of
call
order.
this house in session when people have invaded? Mr. Zuma, together with those two guys, they don't belong in here.
Honorable
He's a
Ndlozi,
criminal, and they
take your
must
seat.
leave.
Honorable Ndlozi, take your seat. Honorable members.
Sihlalo. Sihlalo oka NCP.
I want to rule on this matter.
Why mangabe umuntu ephakamisa isandla ihlonipha ningamvumeli? Ngiyacela njengoba nami ngiyimember yalana.
Point of order, ma'am.
Yabona lento point of order ngiyikhuluma ngithi ngiyacela.
Umuntu ucela on a point of order or point of
privilege. Ngabe point of order ngaba kuyona ngifuna ukukhuluma.
Khuluma ma.
Ngiyabonga ke. Sihlalo lapho ngaphambili ngiyanibingelela enyakeni omusha nobabili. Kunento ebhlungu la. Kufuke kuthiwa la njoba sila sizosebenzela abantu base South Africa. Akushiwo la ukuthi sizosebenzela abantu esibathanda nesingabafuni. Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi njoba uhlezi lapho ngaphambili yini ukuthi masingena nikwazi usibona ukuthi sizolwa sibe singalo. Why nina nibona sangathi thina umangamela simthande? Ngishiso yini na? Ngisho ukuthi kuyimanje umangameli niyamazi kunamacala. Kodwa manje nibhizi niyamvikela.
That is not a point of order.
Ahambe ohlala ekhaya. Akungena omunye kulesi asihlala simthini.
That's not a point of order. Please take your seat.
And kuyimanje kuthiwa sizojova la kodwa
Please take your seat.
anendaba. Nimsakuba bona ubugebengu enibenzayo. We are sick and tired indaba obugebengu
Please take your seat. That's not a point of order.
Angikuzwa ukuthi uthini mina awusho kahle.
Honorable members.
Ngakutshela njalo
Honorable member, please take your seat.
Uthini?
Please take your seat.
Angikuzwa.
Please take your seat.
Siyasinda lesihlalo ngizosithwala ekhanda.
Please take your seat.
Kodwa ngichwenza ngikuthanda kanjena.
Please take your seat. Honorable members, we have been patient. We have listened to you. We have also said to you, you must refrain from these continuous points of orders, which are frankly very spurious. We have also advised that you should not abuse the joint rules. We want to ask you to take your seats, to allow us to continue with this business of this house. Or if honorable members are really not interested in the business of the day, please leave this house.
No.
I will not recognize any other point of order.
Police.
I will not recognize any point of order.
You are making a terrible mistake. You are making a terrible mistake.
Honorable member, take your seat or leave this house.
The glue that binds the people of this country.
Honorable member,
the Constitution.
take your seat or leave this house.
Honorable Chairperson, you are out of order yourself.
Honorable Madisha, I did not recognize you. Please take your seat.
You are not following the rules.
Please take your seat.
You are out of order yourself.
If you do not want to take your seat, sir, please leave this house.
Chairperson.
You have
Chairperson.
take your seat or leave this
You
house.
are wrong. You are wrong.
Honorable
Chairperson,
Madisha, please leave the house.
Because you cannot take.
As of
It's
the
wrong
record,
of
please
you.
help Honorable Madisha to
It's
leave the
wrong
house.
of you to take. I want to emphasize what we believe is a thief from the streets and say that he must come and address a parliament.
They must capture this. We must get this.
Guys, like so many of them, guys.
Honorable members, I have asked Honorable Madisha to leave the house. He has refused to leave the house. I am therefore calling on the protection services of Parliament to help Honorable Madisha to leave this house. When you are on your head, on your feet, you are recognized. Proceed.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, just to reiterate, Chair, we've just seen that cable again now. So we need a clear undertaking from yourselves that this is not going to happen. We've just seen that cable. On a second point of order, Chair, I think the point that is being made here is that this entire gathering is unconstitutional because in the first place, it should not be addressed by someone who has flouted his own oath of office.
Honorable
That is the point that is being made here. The entire gathering here is unconstitutional. But can you please at least rule on the issue of
Honorable
the cable
Mokoena.
so that we can deal with that? Please,
Honorable
ma'am,
Mokoena,
we're asking you.
The Speaker has ruled on the first point you raised.
It's not, but the cable came inside here. The cable was in here just now.
Honorable Mokoena.
Can you please rule?
The Speaker has ruled on that first point. Your
Not
second
ruled,
point
Chair,
is
because
not
that
a point
cable
of
was
order.
in here just now.
Please
I saw it
take
myself.
your seat.
Point of order.
Please
Chair.
tell us
Point of order, Chair.
that there will not be any
Chair, can
cables
you
used
recognize me?
on anybody or any injections. We need a ruling from you. And you must be specific.
House Chair, point of order, please.
Honorable Mokoena, as the Honorable Chairperson is saying, the matter of the security forces, the parliamentary protection services, I have ruled on. And honorable members, the Honorable Chairperson has also ruled on the matter of this unending points, supposed points of orders. And honorable members, we are not taking any other points of orders.
Speaker.
Honorable Mokoena.
Can I be recognized?
Honorable Mokoena, I'm not going to recognize you because, as I'm saying, we are not taking any more
Speaker.
spurious points of orders. We've been
Speaker.
carrying on like this for an hour now, and we
Speaker.
have no intention of proceeding like this beyond this.
Speaker.
We have, honorable members, been very patient with you and cannot waste the time of South Africans beyond what we have done.
Speaker.
Any honorable member who does not want to abide by the rulings of the chair would have to please leave the house so we can proceed.
Speaker. Honorable Speaker, may I be recognized, please?
Honorable Kwankwa,
On this matter, you've not made a ruling, so I think I'm within my rights to stand up.
on which matter?
The matter was raised by the leader of the Democratic Alliance about the presence of the two members of the security office in the House. And later on, it was also raised by the EFF. We're asking you to tell us, explain to us the presence of these members in the House and why we have them here. The other question, Speaker, I think which is more fundamental, is that we need to be treated fairly here as members of Parliament. You're extremely harsh on Honorable Madisha. There are members of Parliament who stood up 50 million times, who spoke without being recognized, but he said something once or twice and then he was told to leave the House. That's a fact. The other important matter here, we need to ask ourselves, what kind of leaders are we? Yes, we have political differences. There was a young child here who was a praise singer, who was drowned out by the noise. We couldn't even appreciate and listen to the quality, to the talent that the member has. The other issue, Chairperson, whether we like it or not, it's unfortunate that we have to disagree about whether or not we should rise and pay our moment of silence to the people who passed away. We should be even be fighting about the matter. The point of order is the first matter I said. Please explain to the House as to the presence of these members who we think are members of the security forces. And you make a ruling on that.
Honorable Kwankwa,
Honorable Speaker.
we have the two members who are ceremonial guards. And they are not in the house. They are not in the floor. They are not on the floor of the house.
Since when? Since when?
Honorable members.
Since when?
Honorable
we never
members.
agreed on those boys there.
Honorable Speaker.
We have never agreed on those people.
Please, we are not taking any more points from you.
Just a brief
and
point.
therefore, if you are not going to cooperate with us, we will peacefully ask you to please leave the chamber.
Yes, I'm going to do exactly that. All I'm saying is that you are so prepared to chase people who violate the rules and keep a man who violate the Constitution.
Honorable Malema.
You are prepared to chase out
Honorable
people
Malema,
who are protecting the Constitution
please
in the name of the rules.
leave the
If there is
chamber.
anyone who must leave,
Honorable
it's this
Malema,
one.
leave the chamber.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm elected here.
We will assist you to go.
Wait.
We will assist
Let me
you to
tell
go.
wait.
Because
That's what
one thing
exactly
we
would
like you to assist
That's
us.
That's exactly what made you not to be a candidate of the Women's League. Exactly that. Your conduct has failed you to be a candidate for president because you are irrational, you are impatient, you are partisan. Even your own people have dumped you. After they told you you are their candidate, you went home to do telling ancestors you are going to be a president. After that, they dumped you because of this conduct. Exactly this conduct. How do you chase us for breaking the rules and you are not chasing a man who has broken his oath of office, his constitution? We are abused by Zuma here.
We are not going to allow
abused
you
by Zuma.
to abuse us the whole night.
No, we are abused by Zuma. You are scared of Zuma. He used you, he dumped you. He used you and promised you that you are going to be a president. And you went home, you slaughtered a cow.
On a
He
point
dumped
of
you.
order.
He dumped you. We are abused by Zuma here.
Honorable Malema, please
can do
leave the
anything.
house. Honorable Malema,
If you want to
leave
kill
the
us,
house.
kill us now.
May I
You
ask
can call soldiers to come and
the
kill us now.
sergeant at arms to please escort Honorable
Call
Malema
soldiers
out
to
of
come
the
and kill
house.
us now.
Speaker.
We are not going to be addressed by criminals. Go and address prisoners, not members of parliament.
Back to me,
Bloody
London.
Kruku Gwen. Le code.
Sebenzele malase London.
Zuma ke le code. Lama
Tata Nanti Kesh. Babu Butelez, do you want to rise on a point of order?
Honorable Speaker and Honorable National Chair of the National Council of Provinces, Ministers, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members, Members of the Judiciary. Mr. Ndozi has suggested that I should leave. He's here because he says it's going to be quite rough. I don't know where to go with it.
Honorable members, Honorable Babu Butelezi, sicela uhlale phansi baba. Honorable members, we don't think it's acceptable for an elderly member of this honorable house to feel that he must leave the house because it looks like it's going to be rough. It's really unacceptable. And therefore, from the chair, we would like to ask the honorable members of the EFF who have not been behaving honorably to quietly and peacefully leave the house because clearly
President Zuma is the one that must leave.
But we are not going to allow
We did nothing wrong
to have honorable members feel threatened because you have a campaign to come and disrupt
the gentlemen
a joint sitting.
We're not going anywhere.
Puman.
I assure you, we're not going anywhere.
Honorable Shibambu, yes. The president of this country is going to deliver the State of the Nation address. I'd like to assure you of that.
We're not going anywhere.
So we would like you to leave us in peace.
We're not going.
If you are not going, then we have no
Zuma must
option.
go. He's the one who must go.
We have no option.
Office.
We have no option.
He must address the
but
nation
to
from
ask
prison, not from there.
The parliamentary
Cannot
protection
be addressed
services
by
to come and assist you or persuade you to leave the house.
Shut up, Malem.
I would like to ask that we perhaps allow Honorable Buthelezi to move from that seat and so that for now, until we have assisted these honorable members.
You are instituting a coup in the
Zuma
IFP.
is not scared of us. He is scared of your men, not us. We are not going to do anything to leave the house.
He is the criminal. He is the thief.
I have called on the parliamentary protection
We are not
services
going to leave the house.
to come
Let
into
Zuma
the
leave the
chamber.
house.
and assist these honorable
Zuma must leave the house. Zuma must
Honorable
leave the
Malema,
house.
you are the one who's not prepared to go. I hope this gentleman will
You can kill me, it's fine, kill me. Just kill me, there's no problem, kill me.
We see honorable members using their heads to harm others. Order, honorable members, can we now settle down so that we can proceed with today's business? We would like to apologize to our guests for this kind of drama that in recent times has become the hallmark of how we deal with one another when we differ.
Stick with me. Yeah, they are.
We would like to ask the guests,
Speaker.
the guests in the gallery, can we ask that we try and settle down?
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Steenhuisen.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to take a point of privilege, if I may.
Honorable members, please take your seats. Take your seats. We've got a member who wants to make a point of order. I want to recognize Honorable Steenhuisen Honorable members, in that corner, take your seats. Honorable member, please take your seat. That member, please take your seat. Honorable Steenhuisen, you are recognized.
I'd like to take a point of privilege, if I may, and it relates to the parliamentary precinct. Madam House Chair, you were in a meeting and the Speaker with various party representatives this week around the deployment of the security services on this precinct. As we speak, there are military personnel with R4 rifles and sidearms on the parliamentary precinct in combat fatigues. There are riot police lining the streets outside and on the precinct right outside this building. Our guests that have been invited to Parliament have been gassed with some form of tear gas. Madam House Chair, Madam Speaker, no democracy should have to witness what we're witnessing in this House. This man has broken South Africa. You are breaking Parliament.
No. On a point of order. Hey, no, fuck you, man.
This is a complete disgrace. Those scenes witnesses, no South African should have to witness.
We can't tolerate this racist. Rubbish, man.
We are taking a point.
We can't tolerate this racist from you. We can't tolerate this racist from you, Steenhuisen. Never.
That man has broken South Africa and you have broken this Parliament.
On the point of order.
Honorable members.
Yes, we're tired of you.
Honorable members. Honorable members.
Bloody racist!
Can we have some order?
Can I racist remark?
Honorable members.
I want to make your life.
Honorable members, please take your seats.
Speaker, can I just address you?
Honorable Maimane, please take your seat.
Can I address you?
Honorable members.
We are racist.
Point of order, ML.
Honorable members.
Join your coalition.
Honorable Maimane.
Join your coalition.
I'm trying to keep.
Please take your seat, Honorable Maimane.
Racist.
Order, sir.
Racist. We cannot tolerate racists.
Honorable members of the ANC, please take your seats.
Son of Rupert.
Honorable members,
Honorable members.
Point of order, sir.
Speaker.
Order, members. Order.
Chair, can I address?
You will address me. I want to restore order in this bench. Honorable members. Honorable members, the members who are sitting in these front benches are leaders. Order!
Point of order, sir.
Order! Order!
Speaker.
Order! Honorable Maimane.
Yes, ma'am. If I can, Speaker, it's become quite clear. Firstly, the argument is simple. There's been the military here in the precinct, which is against what you agreed to us.
You're chocolate! You're chocolate!
Developed at the top. The president has broken the law. This parliament does not stand. We cannot stand for a violation of the Constitution by you as well. We refuse
Honorable Chair.
in this house, and I will request that we
On a point of order,
Honorable Chair to stay in the
Speaker, on a point of order.
Racist and a sellout. No dogs here. Racist and a sellout. Racist. My money, racist.
The DA is using the life of dead people to campaign. We are using dead people to campaign. We are using the names of dead people to campaign.
Dead people which you have killed. Dead people.
You are using the names of dead people for politics. We are using the name of dead people for politics. You are very cheap. You are very
politics. You are very cheap.
Order, honorable members, let us allow the honorable members of the DA to leave the house peacefully in an orderly fashion so that we can proceed with the business of today. We also wish to say that it seems there were some problems up in the gallery and our guests were disturbed. We are told that there was also some pepper spray. We will investigate what exactly happened and who was responsible. And we will come back with the report. But we would like our guests to please settle down so that as soon as the honorable members that are leaving the house have left, we can now proceed. Honorable Filtani.
Can you please order someone to come and wipe it, please?
Okay, it seems the place is wet over there, and therefore, Secretary, can you please get the administrative staff to assist with that? Honorable member at the back.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
May I proceed? Honorable Speaker, I want to put it on record that what had happened today is not democracy at all. And Honorable Speaker, before you chase us out also, I want to record that are we sacrificing all the principles we fought for because of because of the president? The whole confusion, the whole chaos in this parliament is caused by the honorable president, by not respecting the law.
Honorable Kawama, please. It's clear that you are taking us down the same road. And we've already said we have no longer got any time to listen to the same thing on which we have ruled. We have ruled on that matter, and please just settle down and listen to the address of the head of state.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Tawama, it does not matter how much you disagree with a person. Accept that this is the head of state of South Africa at the moment. And we are going to have to give him an opportunity to address us.
Yes,
please, Honorable Tawama, please take your seat. Take your seat, Honorable Tawama.
Honorable Speaker, is that we should never sacrifice what we fought for just because we are afraid of the Honorable President. And it's my right as a citizen to stand up.
Honorable Tawama, take your seat.
And also this House. It's not only your duty, Honorable Speaker. But I'm
Honorable
saying
Hlowama,
I will leave. I will also leave.
please
I will
leave.
also leave, Honorable President. I will leave. You
Please
can remain. You can remain with your dishonest president.
Honorable President, could you please address the House?
Finally. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me start all over again. The Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, and Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa, former President Thabo Mbeki, Chief Justice Mogoeng, and all esteemed members of the judiciary, ministers and deputy ministers, premiers, and speakers of provincial legislatures, chairperson of SALGA, the heads of Chapter 9 institutions, chairperson of the National House of Traditional Leaders, the president of the Muslim Judicial Council, and all leaders of faith-based organizations, the former Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Frene Ginwala, veterans of the struggle for liberation, members of the diplomatic corps, fellow South Africans. Good evening, Sanbonani, Molweni, Dumelang, Khwenand, Lochani, Ripelile, Nimategwan. Beg your pardon, Speaker. Ngiyabona ukuthi into ejikjele lapha nami yangifica manje. Honorable members, thank you, Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, for this opportunity to address the joint sitting of Parliament. Bakhona nabakhwehlelayo la. Ibatholile nabo. Honorable members, an illustrious son of our country, President Oliver Reginald Tambo, would have turned 100 years old this year had he lived. This selfless patriot spent his adult life to a tireless pursuit of the liberation of our country and its people. He left a lasting legacy for all South Africans, and not only for his organization, the ANC. In his honor, we have declared the year 2017 the year of OR Reginald Tambo. It is the year of unity in action by all South Africans as we move South Africa forward together. We have the pleasure to host members of the Tambo family this evening. Mr. Dali Tambo, with his wife, Rachel, and their son, Oliver Tambo Jr. We also fondly remember Mama Africa, Miriam Makeba, who made history when she addressed the United Nations in 1963, appealing for action against the apartheid regime. We extend a warm welcome to her granddaughter, Zenzile Makeba Lee, and great-grandson, Lindelani. Compatriots, in this 23rd year of our freedom, our mission remains the quest for a united, democratic, non-sexist, non-racial, and prosperous South Africa. Guided by the National Development Plan, we are building a South Africa that must be free from poverty, inequality, and unemployment. While the global economic environment remains uncertain, indications are that we have entered a period of recovery. We anticipate an economic growth rate of 1.3% in 2017, following an estimated 0.5% in 2016. However, the economy is still not growing fast enough to create the jobs we need. There are some of our people, including youth, who have not worked for years. It is for this reason that we decided to focus on a few key areas packaged as the 9-point plan to reignite growth so that the economy can create much-needed jobs. The focus areas include industrialization, mining, and beneficiation, agriculture and agro-processing, energy, SMMEs, managing workplace conflict, attracting investments, growing the ocean's economy, and tourism. We also added cross-cutting areas such as science and technology, water and sanitation, infrastructure, transport infrastructure, and broadband rollout. I would like to provide a report back on the work done in some of these areas in the past year. The interaction that we started last year between government, business, and labor, known as the CEO initiative, has been most fruitful, has been most helpful. We were able to address some domestic challenges together. We successfully avoided credit ratings downgrades, which would have had significant impact on our economy. Our labor market environment is also showing signs of stability due to cooperation by social partners. The manner in which parties conducted and carried themselves during the wage negotiations in the platinum sector in particular must be applauded. Unity in action was also demonstrated against this week with the conclusion of the agreement on the national minimum wage and on measures to stabilize labor relations. This follows a call I made in the State of the Nation address on the 14th June 2014. We congratulate the Deputy President and the team at NEDLEC for this milestone and wish them well for work that still needs to be done. Compatriots, the extension of basic services to the people continued in the past year as we pursued a better life for all. To date, nearly 7 million households have been connected to the grid and now have the electricity. The successful execution of the ESCOM's build and maintenance programs helped ensure stability and an end to load shedding. Work is continuing to ensure energy security. Renewable energy forms an important part of our energy mix, which also includes electricity generation from gas, nuclear, solar, wind, hydro, and coal. Government is committed to the overall Independent Power Producers Program, and we are expanding the program to other sources of energy, including coal and gas, in addition to renewable energy. ESCOM will sign the outstanding power purchase agreements for renewable energy in line with the procured rounds. Government is working hard to ensure reliable bulk water supply in the various areas of the country to support economic growth whilst increasing access to vulnerable and rural municipalities. In an effort to curb the water losses, which in some municipalities far exceeds the national average, which is currently at 37%, about 10,000 unemployed youth are being trained as plumbers, artisans, and water agents. More will be recruited this year to reach the total of 15,000. We call upon municipalities to support the War on Leaks program. We continue to build modern schools, replacing mud structures and other inappropriate buildings through the Accelerated Schools Infrastructure Delivery Initiative, ACID. This gives our children dignity. A total of 173 inappropriate structures have been eradicated since 2011. In total, 895 new schools now provide a conducive learning environment for our children. On investment promotion, government has established Invest SA, an investment one-stop shop nationally, and will open provincial centers in KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and the Western Cape. The message is clear to the affected government departments. There must be no undue delays and no unnecessary red tape. From issuing licenses to visas, we should make it easy to do business in South Africa. Compatriots, President O.R. Tambo was a maths and science teacher. Government will thus prioritize maths and science more than ever before this year in his memory. We are encouraged by recent international test results. The results in the trends in international mathematics and science study and the Southern and Eastern Consortium for Monitoring Educational Quality show that the performance of South African learners is improving. Amongst the participating countries, South Africa has shown the largest improvement of 87 points in mathematics and 90 points in science. This is very encouraging, as we don't want our children to be left behind. Our investment in science and technology is yielding results. Since South Africa, supported by its 8 African partners, won the bid to host the Square Kilometre Array telescope, significant progress has been made in building this mega science project and reaping its benefit. Together with its precursor, the Meerkat telescope, the SKA project continues to make important contributions to socio-economic development in South Africa. Working closely with the industry, the Department of Science and Technology is implementing a technology localization strategy. This has ensured that the 2 billion rand Meerkat telescope is constructed within 75% local content. This has led to job creation in the Northern Cape and diversification of the economy through the creation of artisan and maintenance jobs and the promotion of science as a career of choice. On road infrastructure, Sandral has started with the planning phase of the 4.5 billion rand project to upgrade the current Moloto Road. Saka umgwaqo kanye nololiwe kumloto road ukuze kuphephe izimpilo zabantu ngoba izingozi sezithathe imiphefumulo eminingi kuleya ndawo. During 2016, South Africa also signed a cooperation agreement with the People's Republic of China to build the Moloto Rail Development Corridor. In 2014, we launched the Operation Pakisa Big Fast Results methodology in the ocean economy, health, education, and the mining sectors. The purpose was to find a few key projects where we could unlock growth in implementing the NDP. All projects are proceeding well. The South African Navy also participates in the Pakisa project and is preparing to host the government garage concept for all state-owned vessels in Simonstown, including the maintenance and repair of government-owned vessels through the newly established South African Navy Armscottinell Partnership. Yes. We had identified tourism as a key job driver. We are thus pleased that our tourist arrival numbers for the period January to November 2016 increased to 9 million, an increase of just over 1 million arrivals from 2015. This represents a 13% growth in tourism arrivals. Government runs effective poverty alleviation programs such as the expanded public works program. In addition, social grants now reach close to 17 million people, mainly older persons and children. Many families would not be able to put food on the table if it were not for social grants. The expanded public works program has since 2014 created more than 2 million work opportunities towards the attainment of the target of 6 million work opportunities by the end of March 2019. Of the work opportunities created, more than 1 million have been taken up by the youth. During 2015-2016, more than 61,000 work opportunities were created through the environmental programs such as working for water, working for wetlands, working on fire, and working for ecosystems. More than 60% of the beneficiaries were young people. Government working with society is fighting social ills that are tearing communities apart, such as drugs and substance abuse. From Soshanguve to Rosettenville or Kwamashu to the Cape Flats, communities are in difficulty because of the drugs. Other than law enforcement, the provision of treatment and prevention services is also critical. The Department of Social Development is building new public treatment centers in provinces where there are no such facilities. In the Northern Cape, Northwest, Limpopo, Free State, and the Eastern Cape. Working together, we will save our youth from drugs. On health matters, the National Health Insurance is our flagship project that is aimed at moving South Africa towards universal health coverage. The NHI will be implemented in a 14-year period in 3 phases. We are in the midst of the first phase, which is the preparatory phase, which started in 2012. Compatriots, we are deeply distressed by the death of so many psychiatric patients in Gauteng. Mentally ill patients are some of the most vulnerable members of society who need protection from the state itself and society as a whole. I've instructed the Minister of Health to ensure that the health ombudsman's recommendations are wholly and speedily implemented without any reservations. We welcome the recommendation of the health ombudsperson that there is an urgent need to review the National Health Act of 2003 and the Mental Health Act of 2002 with a view that certain powers and functions revert back to the National Minister of Health. Once more, we extend our heartfelt condolences to all families and relatives of the deceased. Honorable members, government will provide support so that families do not face this burden alone. The Premier of Gauteng and the Minister of Health have already provided this assurance. A lot more work has been done in the past year in implementing the 9-point plan and all our programs. Ministers will report further on the programs during the budget votes. Honorable members, I would now like to speak on our priorities for the year ahead. Political freedom alone is incomplete without economic emancipation. Oliver Tambo spoke clearly about this mission at the SACP anniversary meeting in London in 1981. He said, and I quote, "The objective of our struggle in South Africa, as set out in the Freedom Charter, encompasses economic emancipation. It is inconceivable for liberation to have meaning without a return of the wealth of the country to the people as a whole." To allow the existing economic forces to retain their interests intact is to feed the roots of racial supremacy and exploitation. And it does not represent even the shadow of liberation. It is therefore a fundamental feature of our strategy that victory must embrace more than formal political democracy, and our drive towards national emancipation must include economic emancipation, unquote. What do we mean by radical social economic transformation? We mean fundamental change in the structure, systems, institutions, and patterns of ownership, management, and control of the economy in favor of all South Africans, especially the poor, the majority of whom are African and female. As defined by the governing party, which makes policy for the democratic government. 22 years into our freedom and democracy, the majority of black people are still economically disempowered. They are dissatisfied with the economic gains from liberation. The gap between the annual average household incomes of African-headed households and their white counterparts remains shockingly huge. White household earn at least 5 times more than black households, according to Statistics South Africa. The situation with regards to the ownership of the economy also mirrors that of household incomes. Only 10% of the top 100 companies on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange are owned by Black South Africans, directly achieving principally through the Black Empowerment Codes, according to the National Empowerment Fund. The pace of transformation in the workplace, the implementation of affirmative action policies as required by the Employment Equity Act also remains very slow. In terms of the 2015 to 16 information submitted to the Employment Equity Commission, the representation of whites at top management level amounted to 72%, whilst African representation was at 10%. The representation of coloreds stood at 4.5% and Indians 8.7%. The report further provides that white South Africans, in particular males, are afforded higher levels of recruitment, promotion, and training opportunities as compared to the designated groups. At the level of gender, at senior management level, males remain dominant at 67.6% and females at 32.4%. The skewed nature of ownership and leadership patterns needs to be corrected. There can be no sustainability in any economy if the majority is excluded in this manner. In my discussions with the business community, they accepted these transformation imperatives. Today, we are starting a new chapter of radical socio-economic transformation. We are saying that we should move beyond words to practical programs. The state will play a role in the economy to drive that transformation. In this regard, government will utilize to the maximum the strategic levers that are available to the state. This includes legislation, regulations, licensing, budget, and procurement, as well as broad-based Black economic empowerment charters to influence the behavior of the private sector and drive transformation. The state spends 500 billion rand a year buying goods and services. Added to this is the 900 billion rand infrastructure budget. Those budgets must be used to achieve economic transformation. As a start, the new regulations making it compulsory for big constructors to subcontract 30% of business to Black-owned enterprises have been finalized and were gazetted on the 20th of January. Through such regulations and programs, government will be able to use the state buying power to empower small enterprises, rural and township enterprises, designated groups, and to promote local industrial development. Two key challenges we face is the high levels of concentration in the economy, as well as the collusion and cartels, which squeeze out small players and hamper the entry of young entrepreneurs and black industrialists. The competition authorities have done excellent work to uncover the cartels and punish them for breaking the law. Last year, I signed into law a provision to criminalize the cartels and collusion, and it came into effect on 1 May. It carries jail sentences of up to 10 years. We are now stepping up our actions to deal with the other challenge, namely economic concentration, where a small grouping controls most of the market. During this year, the Department of Economic Development will bring legislation to Cabinet that will seek to amend the Competition Act. It will, among others, address the need to have a more inclusive economy and to deconcentrate the high levels of ownership and control we see in many sectors. We will then table the legislation for consideration by Parliament. In this way, we seek to open up the economy to new players, give black South Africans opportunities in the economy, and indeed help to make the economy more dynamic, competitive, and inclusive. This is our vision of radical economic transformation. Compatriots, government is actively involved in the property sector, having provided more than 4 million houses since 1994. This sector in our country is valued at approximately 7 trillion rand, with the subsidized sector being valued at 1.5 trillion rand. However, less than 5% of the sector is owned or managed by black people, and Africans in particular. A draft property practitioners bill will be published by the Department of Human Settlements for public comment, with the purpose of establishing a more inclusive, representative sector towards radical economic transformation. Among key priorities this year, government will also address the increasing delays and backlogs in registration and issuing of title deeds to beneficiaries of housing projects funded by the capital subsidy. Compatriots, we reiterate that radical economic transformation should mean moving beyond share ownership schemes only. We would like to see Black people involved directly in business owning factories. The development of the Black Industrialist Program is thus critical. The program has from inception supported more than 22 entrepreneurs. Government has further opportunities in the property maintenance projects of the Department of Public Works. The department will invest approximately 100 million rand this year on critical capital and maintenance programs to modernize harbors. They will also continue generating revenue from letting state-owned harbors and coastline projects which will benefit Black-owned SMMEs. Government will also continue to pursue policies that seek to broaden the participation of Black people and SMMEs, including those owned by women and the youth in the information and communication technologies sector. We assure the youth that the lowering of the cost of data is uppermost in our policies and plans. Compatriots, mining has always been the backbone of our economy and an important foreign exchange earner. We welcome the recovery in commodity prices, which has resulted in an upswing in mining output. This augurs well for the industry. The mining charter is currently being reviewed. The charter seeks to recognize the internationally accepted right of the state to exercise sovereignty over all the mineral and petroleum resources within the Republic. It is also aimed at helping the country to de-racialize the ownership of the mining industry. This will help ensure the stability of this industry. We trust that discussions between government and business on the charter will yield results so that the process can be finalized. We'll continue to pursue direct state involvement in mining. The Mining Company of South Africa bill will be presented to Cabinet and Parliament during this year. The Minerals and Petroleum Resources Development Amendment Bill was sent back to Parliament so that issues relating to the public consultation process undertaken by provincial legislatures can be addressed. We trust that it shall be processed and returned for finalization without much delay so that the concerns relating to uncertainty raised by business can be resolved. Government continues to work with other stakeholders to combat illegal mining, to save lives, and to prevent the trafficking of precious metals and diamonds. We also continue to place great emphasis on the health and safety of mine workers, which is so crucial to the sustainability of the mining sector. Working with the mining companies, we can ensure that lives are protected at all times. The tragic accident that occurred at Lilima outside in Mpumalanga earlier in 2015 is the first of its kind that we have experienced since the dawn of democracy. The families are going through immense pain and frustration. Honorable members, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to achieve true reconciliation until the land question is resolved. Dealing with the markets in a number of countries abroad from her farm. Compatriots, our farmers, went through a difficult period last year because of the drought. To date, an estimated amount of 2.5 billion rand was made available for the provision of livestock feed, water, infrastructure, drilling equipment, equipping, and refurbishment of boreholes, auction sales, and other interventions. Furthermore, the Industrial Development Corporation and the Land Bank availed funding of about 500 million rand to help farmers to manage their credit facilities and support with soft loans. Compatriots, President O.R. Tambo was a champion of women's rights. We will continue to mainstream the empowerment of women in all government programs. Government will continue to prioritize women's access to economic opportunities and, in particular, to business financing and credit. This is the freedom that heroines of the struggle, such as the late Dora Tamana of Guguletu here in Cape Town, fought for. I am pleased to have her son, Mongezi Tamana, as a guest today. He's proceeding with his studies, and he loves maths. Basic Minister Ampek, compatriots, in December 2015, university students voiced their concerns about the cost of higher education. They correctly pointed out that accumulated debt and fast rising fees were making it harder and harder for those who come from less privileged households to enter and stay within the education system until they complete their studies. It is for this reason that when university students expressed genuine concerns about being excluded from universities, our caring government responded appropriately by taking over the responsibility to pay the fee increase for the 2016 academic year. Government also settled all debt owned by NSFAS students and extended the coverage to larger numbers of students than ever before. At the time of tabling the 2016 medium-term budget policy statement, our government announced additional measures aimed at making higher education accessible to more students from working-class families. Government has provided funds to ensure that no student whose combined family income is up to 600,000 rand per annum will face fee increases at universities and TVET colleges for 2017. All students who qualify for NSFAS and who have been accepted by universities and TVET colleges will be funded. The university debt of NSFAS qualifying students for 2013, 2014, and 2015 academic years has been addressed. In total, government has reprioritized 32 billion rand within government baselines to support higher education. We are ensuring that our deserving students can study without fearing that past debts will prevent them from finishing their studies. In the remaining years of this administration, our policies will respond directly to the following concerns that the students have placed firmly on the table. Firstly, the students have expressed concern that the NSFAS threshold of 122,000 rand is too low. We will have to look into this matter with the view to raising the threshold on the phased basis in the period ahead. Secondly, the students have pointed out that the full cost of study at some universities is higher than the subsidy that NSFAS provides. As a result, NSFAS students who study at some universities that charge higher fees end up accumulating debt. Our government initiated processes are already looking at this issue too. Honorable members and fellow South Africans, students and their parents should understand that the needs for services like water, sanitation, early childhood development, and good public transport have to also be addressed alongside access to quality higher education and training. But our commitment to finding sustainable solutions to the funding of the social wage in general and education in particular is unwavering. As the processes that we have set in motion draw to the close, such as the HEHA Commission, the Ministerial Task Team, broader engagements with students, universities, and TVET's leadership, and civil society, we will find resources to find expression to our policies. I invite all stakeholders to participate in the processes that are underway so that no view is not heard in the process. No great idea should be excluded. As soon as the broadest sections of our society agree on what to do, our government will take steps to prioritize resources to implement it on a phased basis. Let us engage to identify the most pressing needs and allocate our limited resources accordingly. Let us build our self-reliance and move forward in the spirit of unity. Compatriots, the fight against crime is an apex priority. The police will increase visible policing, building on the successful pattern of deployments utilized during the Safer Festive Season campaign. They will also utilize certain specialized capabilities, such as the tactical response teams and national intervention units, to assist in addressing problematic high crime areas. We received a message from of the DNA database in the identification of suspects. We urge the public to work with the police to assure safer communities. Compatriots, we welcome the decline in rhino poaching incidents since October 2015, which is for the first time in decades. This arises from intensive joint operations by law enforcement agencies. Compatriots, one of the strategies of fighting crime is to ensure that those who are released from prison do not commit crime again. The Department of Correctional Services continues to work hard to turn prisons into correctional centers through offering various services. As a result, compliance levels with parole and probation conditions have improved to reach a historic mark of 98%. The country has also made good progress in reducing the numbers of children in correctional centers. Compatriots, the promotion of access to justice was given added meaning last year when the High Court division in Limpopo was opened in November. The Mpumalanga High Court will be completed during this financial year. The coming into operation of these two high courts means that we have now realized the goal of high court in every province of the country. Compatriots, the fight against corruption continues within the National Prosecuting Authority. The Asset Forfeiture Unit completed 389 forfeiture cases to the value of 349 million rand. They obtained 326 freezing orders to the value of 779 million rand. A total of 13 million rand was recovered in cases where government officials were involved in corruption and the other related offenses in the past year. Compatriots, Oliver Tambo set the tone for the country's foreign policy as early as 1977 when addressing the first Congress of the Angolan ruling party, MPLA. He said, and I quote, "We seek to live in peace with our neighbors and the peoples of the world, in conditions of equality, mutual respect, and equal advantage," unquote. South Africa is honored to chair the Southern African Development Community, SADC, starting from August 27. We will utilize our tenure to fast-track the implementation of the SADC industrial strategy. We are accelerating the integration agenda through the implementation of SADC COMESA, East African Community Free Trade. We will continue with our involvement in our mediation efforts, peacekeeping operations, and peacemaking initiatives in Lesotho, Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, Mozambique, South Sudan, Somalia, and Libya. The South African National Defense Force represents the country well in the peacekeeping missions. Furthermore, trade with our traditional partners in the West remains a significant contributor to our economy. We will continue to partner with the United States and work together on issues of mutual interest, such as the full renewal of AGOA. We value our relationship with the People's Republic of China. China is one of South Africa's most important and key strategic partners. We recognize the PRC as the sole government and authority representing the whole of China. South Africa reiterates its position and commitment to the One China policy, and we consider Taiwan as an integral part of the People's Republic of China. At continental partnership level, the joint Africa-EU strategy remains an important long-term framework for continued cooperation. The economic partnership agreement with the EU came into force in September 2016, thus providing new market access opportunities for South African products. Almost all South African products, about 99%, will have preferential market access in the EU. About 96% of the products will enter the EU market without being subjected to customs duties or quantitative restrictions. The Southern African Customs Union, Mercosur, preferential trade agreement has also entered into force, providing preferential access to over 1,000 tariff lines. This is an agreement that promotes South-South trade. Our cooperative partnerships with other regions are bearing fruits. The BRICS New Development Bank has recorded encouraging progress. We welcome the Goa BRICS heads of state and government decision to establish the BRICS rating agency so that we can assist each other in assessing our economic paths. We are also pleased with agreements with our BRICS partners in the field of agriculture. We will implement off-take agreements on the export of pulses, mangoes, and pork to India. We will also export 20,000 tons of beef to China per year for a period of 10 years. We will continue to pursue the reform of the international system because the current configuration undermines the ability of developing countries to contribute and benefit meaningfully. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the occupation of Palestine. The expansion of Israeli settlements undermine global efforts aimed at realizing the two-state solution and the Oslo Accord. We wish to reiterate our support for the Palestinian cause. Similarly, we hope that the readmission of Morocco to the AU should serve as a catalyst to resolve the Western Sahara issue. Let me add that South Africa will use Armed Forces Day on the 21st February 2017 to mark the centenary commemorations of the tragic sinking of the SS Mandy, which left 646 soldiers dead in 1917. Compatriots, the Constitution accords equal rights and dignity to all South Africans. The United Nations proclaimed 13 June as International Albinism Awareness Day. We should use this day to raise awareness and eliminate the discrimination or harm that compatriots with albinism are subjected to in some areas. Siyagcizelela ukuthi abantu abanebala elimhlophe bangabantu bafana nabo bonke abantu ezweni. Akuphele ukubahlukumeza, aziphele nezinkolelo ezingekho ngabo. I have pleasure to introduce Ms. Nomasonto Mazibuko, the Executive Director of the Albinism Society of South Africa, one of my special guests. Honorable members, the sports fraternity tragically lost one of its favorite sons, Joost van die Washuizen, earlier this week. The music industry has lost popular gospel musicians recently, Sifiso Ncwane and Lundi Kyamaga, as well as Maskanda musician Ngane Ziyamfisa. We extend our condolences on the loss of these public figures who have contributed to the country's sports and arts. Compatriots, members, honorable members of parliament, let us unite in driving radical economic transformation for the good of our country. In the words of President Tambo, and I quote, "Working together as fellow South Africans, we have it within our power to transform this country into the land of plenty for all." Where the nightmare of apartheid will just be a faint memory of the past, unquote. And I thank you very much indeed for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable President. Honorable members, before I adjourn the sitting, I wish to apologize to both the members of the joint sitting and the public in the gallery, and all our esteemed guests, for an incident which cannot be classified as anything other than breach of security. The members on the benches of the DA said that there was tear gas that was been sprayed. On a quick investigation, the Secretary to Parliament was told that it was actually pepper spray. Whatever it was, it should not have happened in this Parliament. We cannot allow that to happen again. We have therefore instructed the Secretary to Parliament to investigate the matter and to report back to the joint sittings as soon as possible. Honorable members, after I have adjourned the joint sitting, members and guests should please remain at their places until the procession has left the chamber. The guests in the gallery should remain seated until the ushers indicate that the doors are open. The procession led by the Sergeant-at-Arms and the usher will leave the chamber in the following order: the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chairperson of the Council of Provinces, the President, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, the Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, the Deputy President, the Secretary to Parliament. This concludes the business of the day, and the joint sitting is adjourned.
So chaos and calm, tensions and tear gas or pepper spray, depending on the definition, fisticuffs and F words, as the president details his plan for